Throw it back if you want to play games.
We're locked in.
Hello, I'm Yvette Fielding and welcome to Most Haunted. This investigation is going to be a little bit different as I've invited some special guests. Joining me here at Delapre Abbey in Northampton are 5 formidable rugby players. The question on everybody's lips here is, who is going to scream first? Delapre Abbey was an English monastery situated in the meadows of the River Nene to the south of Northampton. It was founded as a monastery of nuns in the year 1145. Delapre was only one of 2 Cluniac monasteries of women in England, the other Arthington Priory in Yorkshire. The Cluniac congregation was initially a reform movement of Benedictine life. A dozen to 20 nuns resided at the abbey at any one time. The abbey was closed as a monastery in 1538 during the dissolution of the monasteries. In 1460, the Battle of Northampton between the Yorkist and Lancastrians took place at Delapre, and many people have reported hearing the ghostly battle cries in the dead of night. The building has been passed from family to family throughout the years, and in 1940, the War Office took over the abbey. The building has been mostly empty since then, and its future is unsure. It's not just above the ground that's said to be haunted. Apparently, just below my feet, there are places even worse. And this is one of them. In and around the building, there are a network of tunnels and cellars, each with a plethora of ghost sightings and each as frightening as the other. This massive building holds a huge amount of history and has its fair share of ghosts. The spirit of the Blue Lady has been seen floating down one of the derelict corridors. She's thought to be one of the nuns, perhaps on her way up to the chapel. The ghosts of soldiers marching have been heard many times, shouting and crying out as if they're on their way to battle. The chanting of nuns and desperate cries for help have been heard, perhaps the ghostly voice of Henry VI pleading to be released from his cell. And a classic ghostly black dog has been seen many times in and around the grounds, known as the harbinger of death. This derelict building seems to never end. The atmosphere is oppressive and strangely claustrophobic. With so many families residing here and servants, their energies of day-to-day life can sometimes be seen, heard and felt in this great home. The rustling of a skirt on the stairs, the creak of floorboards and a shout in the dead of night. Delapre Abbey truly makes your hair stand on end. With so many alleged paranormal sightings, I wondered what demonologist and historian Fred Batt had to say about this massive and seemingly very haunted building. This is a beautiful room. I absolutely love it. It's gorgeous. The ceilings, everything. It's absolutely stunning.
It's very Baroque style, isn't it?
So tell me, Fred, what was this building, first of all?
Well, originally, part of the building, not this particular part, but it was a monastery, and there was Cluniac nuns here which there's been sightings of one of those as well. It's like a bluey grey sort of tunic.
Yeah,
they
the
used to
Blue
wear.
Lady, yeah.
That's it, yeah. And then also you had the Great Battle of Northampton, just up the road between the Yorkies and the Lancastrians. A lot of the soldiers that were killed in that were buried here in the nuns' graveyard.
Right.
So there's that type of haunting going on here. But there's also more modern ones, like there's a dog that prowls around that comes out of what's now the tea room, that used to be the stables, and it wanders around and then disappears. There's lots of things like that.
I think that the difficulty for us while we're investigating here is the fact that there's so much myth and legend, and yet, you know, what's truth, what's fact, and what's fiction, you know, so we need to sort of cut through that.
Yeah, there's lots of facts like that. People have heard horsemen galloping through and soldiers marching. Well, those things happened here, but whether they've heard it afterwards, we've got to find out what we can hear.
Let's keep having a stroll through this magnificent but I have to say it's one of my favourite locations. Well, here we are, Fred, in another corridor, and I have to say, for me, this could be the set of a horror movie.
Well, it
really, really could. It's cold, it's damp, it's ugh.
Well, you're in the bowels of the north wing here. And this was the church for the abbey where the nuns lived, the Cluniac nuns. This was the church where they would pray and everything else.
Oh, so there'd be a lot of atmosphere.
Little cells that they lived in. So this here is a great part to do later on.
So what sort of things would you hear up and down this corridor then?
You would hear them praying, you would hear chanting from the little cells along here. That sort of thing, yeah, where they'd be doing their penance or whatever.
And does the Blue Lady, can you see her as well?
That's where she's seen along here, apparently.
Right, okay.
And it's like it's a grey lady that's called, but it's got a slight blue to it, which was similar to their habits they used to wear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Watch these steps here about this a bit.
Oh, they are a bit, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, now this is a place, I tell you right now, stuff's going to happen down here.
Well, here we've gone even deeper into the West Wing.
Why is this like that?
Well, this was a cell.
A cell?
You've got here where the prisoner was watched, and then here where the food was put through.
But why is there a cell here?
Remember, in the 1400s, you had the Battle of Northampton, where you had the Lancastrians and the Yorkies. Well, Henry VI was actually held here.
No way!
So you've got a lot of history in this part here, yeah. So a lot of things have been heard down here and seen down here. So that you're going to have a field day in this one.
Oh my goodness me, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I mean, you see where they used to feed them.
But this seems like a modern door.
No. Well, that may have been restored, but I mean, this isn't modern.
Oh, how interesting.
This is right underneath the church where the nuns were. This is underneath there.
So what sort of things have been experienced in this area then? And this is just one of the cellars, isn't it? Because there's lots.
There's quite a few of these. There's been crying heard down here, praying, all the usual type of things where someone's locked in a cell that there's nothing else for them to do.
Desperation, yeah.
Yeah. So there's all that type of thing. This would be good to someone to be locked in, really. Shut in.
Oh, yes.
A huge building with a great history. The paranormal activity was rife. It was now time to introduce 5 big, burly, brave men to Most Haunted. Ben Foden and his 4 strapping young mates were about to be let loose in this massive haunted house. How were they going to cope?
I see a rugby team.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself. How scared are you on a scale of 1 to 10 then, boys?
I had to convince them all to come down. They didn't come willingly, so they've all been sort of in and out, but they've all turned up.
I'm here through peer pressure.
You're all really nervous, aren't you?
I'm a little bit nervous,
Yeah?
I was born to be a Ghostbuster.
Now, I've been
The
told,
Slimer.
good authority, that you're a bit of a cheeky chappy and I'm to be a bit wary about you.
No, definitely not. Completely wrong, but I am very scared of it, so don't use it to your advantage.
Okay. And also, you did say that you might cry at some point.
Yeah, I am a bit emotional right now.
Okay.
So I got the big guy.
I've got tissues in my pocket. Okay. So, have you all been interested in the paranormal? Are you all scared to death of it? Or are you all sceptics? What's the situation?
I think most of us are sceptics, but we believe in something, so we're waiting to be convinced. Myself, I grew up in like old houses, and obviously I've seen my wife came on the show with her band, so I thought I'd bring my boys down, show them how it's done. Real men.
Right, now listen, let's get scary now. So, things have already been happening.
around you, haven't you? And what do you think to those? You've already heard knockings and bangings and what, somebody had a stone thrown at them or something?
We walked the path we were going to take. Ashley didn't quite turn up on time, standing. But we walked the path, so he's the most troublemaker as well. So if anyone's going to throw a stone and do it on purpose, it would have been him, and he's not there.
But he wasn't there when this happened.
No, so the stone sort of was thrown. We thought Dicko kicked it. He swears he didn't kick it. I didn't do anything. We all saw it like roll across the floor, so we're all a bit...
I think this is going to be a great night. So, torches at the ready. Are you ready to start the investigation?
Let's go Ghostbusters.
So what we're going to do is we're going to turn all the lights off in the whole of the property. We're going to stick together for the... Look at you all!
We've seen a prayer in it.
Your wife was braver, for goodness sake! So yeah, we'll turn all the lights off. We're going to get the cameras. We've got the most haunted team with us. So let the ghost hunting commence. Follow me. Oh, it started! Bang it away! Come on!
With our guests seemingly quite apprehensive, we started our walk around. Lights off, investigation on.